The issue here is people love the idea of a great career. It's very aspirational. Everybody wants to have a great career, but not everybody is willing to do the work. So there is a gap between what they want for themselves and what they are willing to do. And when people look at themselves, it's very easy not to recognize this gap. In fact, the devil in the head wants you not to recognize it, right? That's where that entire story of sour grapes comes from. Your career is like a living, breathing organism, and building great careers requires nurturing them with strategic guidance. Hi, my name is Sawan Kapoor, and I'm India's leading career coach, also known as the Career Guy. Welcome to the Career Headquarters. Most comprehensive career podcast on the internet, where I will bring you groundbreaking insights on everything career related. Whether you're seeking a career abroad or wanting to switch industries, whether you are entry level or a mid-career professional or a senior leader, I have seen it all. As an award-winning CEO of one of the largest and most profitable beverage alcohol companies, my career spanned 3 continents, multiple industries, and provided me with an accelerated roadmap to the very top. So if you want to build an exceptional career and 3x your paycheck, this podcast is for you.
Welcome to today's episode of Career Headquarters, the most comprehensive career podcast. Hi Sawan, how are you?
Deepa, I'm well, how are you?
You excited today?
Yes.
As usual.
Yes.
Okay.
It's been a while since we've shot one of these,
Yes.
so wonderful to be here again.
Okay, so we have a very interesting topic today, and that is why only a few people create great careers and most do not. So that would be my first question, the title itself. So why is it that very few professionals actually go on to create great careers and most of them just keep struggling?
I think to answer this question, right, you first need to look at what makes a great career. So, I always talk about these 5 patterns that make a great career. The first one is finding the right fit. So people who create an amazing career, they work with the long term in mind. They're focused on being able to use their strengths and also work with people that they admire and respect. So their competence is working at its best, as is the environment, the culture that they are working in. The second pattern is that they understand how value is created in the workplace and how that translates to their own personal worth. Because it's not just any practice that will make you perfect. Only the right practice will make you perfect. So you need to be working on things that create the maximum impact. The third pattern is understanding a very specific style of leadership that I call benevolent leadership. And this is all about caring more for the success of other people than your own success. Because you cannot claw your way to the top of an organization. You have to be carried there. People must want you to lead. And that only happens when you take a sincere interest in their issues and their problems and help them grow their own careers. The fourth pattern here is understanding how to overcome the permission paradox. Now, see, a lot of working professionals face this in their career, where they cannot get the job without showing that they have the experience, and they won't get the experience without getting the job. So it's like a catch-22. They feel out of the fire into the frying pan. But people who build great careers, they know how to create the environment, the context, to be able to overcome such problems. And there are a number of customized strategies that are to be used given the specifics of a situation. And they understand what strategies need to be used to be able to break through this problem. And the fifth rule for a great career is that they understand Pareto's principle, the 20-80 rule. So 20% of what they do will create 80% of the impact, and then 80% creates only 20% of the impact. So they are focused where they use their core genius on that 20% that cannot be delegated. Everything else can be outsourced. It can be assigned to team members. It can be given to a third-party service provider. But there is a core of your role that only you can solve. And if you lead a team, it's your responsibility to do that even for your team. So why do only some people achieve great careers? First, it's to understand that these are the patterns that you will experience in a great career. But there are factors, at the subconscious level, there are salient factors, if you will, that enable people to be able to create these 5 patterns in their careers. And I feel the first one is that you have to believe it's possible. See, the beliefs with which you begin the journey will define the journey. And if you're beginning the journey with doubt and hesitation, don't expect that you will get a result that will be a manifestation of your full potential. So I think believing in your own self is a critical core to being able to build a great anything, not just a great career, a great marriage, a great body, a great business, whatever it may be. That self-belief is going to be a very profound element of that. The second thing I would say is that people who develop wonderful careers, they are very comfortable with being uncomfortable. Life is messy, life is shabby. It's never going to be perfect. I don't think perfection can be equated with the human condition. So, the more comfortable you are being able to operate below the line of where you feel everything is perfect and, all of your ducks are in a row, the better you will be at creating likelihood for growth and success and positivity and embetterment. The third thing is to understand the strategic value of failure. Most people let failure define them, right? So failure for most people kills something so deep inside them that they don't want to try anymore. They don't know how to handle that rejection. But failure has only come into if you take a step back, you will realize that failure has only come into your life to redirect you, to help you be the masterpiece that you're meant to be. And most people don't persevere through failure long enough to understand that. So understanding, that this is a numbers game. In Japanese, there is a saying which states, fall 7, rise 8. In English, you have try till you succeed, right? So it's the same thing. You have to keep going on. Only if you keep walking will you get to the finish line. You can crawl if you like. That's okay. Nobody is measuring you on the speed, but you are being measured on the quality of the outcomes that you achieve. So the fourth one that I want to mention there is to have an insane work ethic. There is just no substitute for hard work. And if you put that in, I can tell you, I've met a lot of people who are smarter than I am, but I really take pride, in my capacity to put in the effort that is required. So if you do it that one more time that your competition will not, you will separate yourself right there. So all it takes is just that. Strategically, the win is already in your hands if you're ready to go that extra mile. And the fifth thing that I would say is that people who build terrific careers, they have phenomenal interpersonal skills. So these are your skills in how you will relate with people around you. Because please understand, your interpersonal skills are the skills that bring all of your technical knowledge, your subject matter expertise to life. Right? So this is how you're going to interact with the world around you. It's your spoken and written communication. It's your non-verbal communication. It's your attitude, your assertiveness, your ability to read between the lines. So this is how you have absorbed information, the perceptions that you have developed, and how you're going to respond to those perceptions. So I would say that these 5 things are, very critical. The issue here is people love the idea of a great career. It's very aspirational. Everybody wants to have a great career, but not everybody is willing to do the work. So there is a gap between what they want for themselves and what they are willing to do. And when people look at themselves, it's very easy not to recognize this gap. In fact, the devil in the head wants you not to recognize it, right? That's where that entire story of sour grapes comes from.
Yes.
Right? Because they were out of reach, the grapes are sour, right? So you need to understand that knowledge does not equal application. And the fastest way to progress is to work with an expert. Because, otherwise people land up spending a tremendous amount of time in experimentation. What will work, what will not work, drawing patterns in their career, what worked the last time, what did not work. And it just wastes a lot of time. The road to career development is paved with personal development. So the more you work on yourself, the better you will be at your career. Because what this does is, as you go about developing yourself and achieving more goals in your own life, the real prize is who you become in that process. And the person you become is the person who is capable of solving challenges and opportunities of ever increasing complexity. And the more complex the problem you're able to solve, the greater your value to your workplace, right? So you need incredible personal alignment. Here, to sum this all up, I would say what you need, what an individual needs, is an incredible level of personal alignment to be able to create an exceptional career.
All right. So we'll circle back to this. Can you just state the 5 patterns and the 5 salient features that you were talking about once again?
Yeah, so the 5 patterns were, one, finding the right fit; two, understanding how value is generated in the workplace; three, benevolent leadership; four, the permission paradox, learning how to overcome that; and five, the 20-80 rule. Those were the 5 patterns. And then the 5 salient things that you need to put to use to be able to realize these is: first, self-belief; two, becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable; third one was the strategic value of failure; the fourth one was developing an insane work ethic; and the fifth one was superb interpersonal skills.
All right, thank you. Okay, so let's go back to personal alignment. What does it mean to have personal alignment, and what is being aligned here?
So, having exceptional personal alignment is the ability to do deep work, solving those complex problems and opportunities. And, these are areas where you can create the kind of impact that is groundbreaking, okay? Breakthrough level of impact. That will only happen if you love what you do. Like Steve Jobs said, if you haven't found what's right for you, don't compromise, keep looking. Because only when you are involved at that level, when all of your faculties, your head, your heart, your gut, every fiber of your being, when it is involved, will you land up doing exceptional work. And only then do you not need motivation. See, motivation is a symptom, it's feedback that you are not aligned with what is most authentic for you. When you are aligned with what is most authentic for you, you don't need motivation. You're driven from the inside. You don't need an external force. It's like a child playing video games. You don't need to convince that child or sell the concept of playing video games to that child. The most important thing for that child is to play and have fun, and video games is a means to the end. So, they're very keen to do that. The way you bring about personal alignment is you need to understand your purpose. So there is again a Japanese concept called ikigai, right? And a lot of people are familiar with this concept. The idea here is to find one answer that satisfies 4 questions.
Yes.
Okay. So, and the questions are: what do you love to do? What are you good at? What does the world need? And what can you be paid for? So, this is not a concept that most people will be able to solve overnight. It will take some time, right? It will take multiple sittings, but it is very worth it because it really allows you to understand why you get out of bed each day. The second thing is, once you understand your purpose, the second thing is to develop milestones on that journey. And that's the process of goal setting, right? Because if you do not have goals, then where are you going? Any road will take you there if you don't have a destination. You're like a ship that is lost at sea. If the wind is blowing from here, you go here. If the wind is blowing from there, you go there.
Yes.
So you need to have these milestone markers in what progress you are making towards the ultimate destination. See, a goal is like the summit of a mountain. To reach that summit, you need to have the right vehicle,
Yes.
right? So you need to have a 4x4 Jeep that has the right tires, the right engine and power to be able to climb up that mountain. If you don't have the right vehicle, you should not change your goal that I'll go climb a lower mountain. You need to get the right vehicle.
Yes.
So that is where personal development and investing in one's own self comes into the picture. And the third thing here is understanding what you will give time to and what you will not give time to. Because, see, your time is limited, and all of the areas of your life are fighting for your limited time. Your personal life, your professional life, what you owe to parents, what you owe to in laws, responsibilities in the kitchen, responsibilities in your office environment, time for children, time for yourself, your health. All of these things are fighting for the limited time that you have. So it is very important to be clear when two things fight for your time, say office work and certain responsibilities at home, what will get preference? That you will only know if you know what is the order of your priorities. And this doesn't have to be a permanent order. You can create this order flexibly for the next 3 months. For the next 3 months, this is what is most important to me. This is second most. This is third most, right? So, personal alignment means having a heightened sense of personal development, that you've got all of these things in order, because only then will you be able to do that deep work, right? It means having a healthy ego, not reacting to situations that are time wasters. Because if you're going to respond to every barking dog on the way, then the only person who's getting slowed down from reaching their goal is you.
Yes.
Right. So it means you have awakened a certain level of mastery. You know how to celebrate your uniqueness. It means you have expanded your leadership capacity. It means you have balance across all of these areas of your life. That is where you begin to, build a career on a rock solid foundation.
So, Savan, you were talking about how professionals might want certain things, but there's a gap between that and the effort that they're actually willing to put in. So, why do people, even the ones who have solid intentions, why do they fail to take action? Why does the energy fizzle out?
See, there was a statement by this American psychologist. She's actually known as the mother of family therapy. Her name was Virginia Satir.
Okay.
And the statement that she made was, the certainty of misery is preferable to the misery of uncertainty.
Certainty, yeah.
Right? So what that means is, knowing that if you don't create change in your life, you're going to remain miserable. You're going to remain unhappy. But despite knowing that, you're not able to create the needed change in your life because somewhere at a subconscious level, you are afraid of everything you will have to face
Yes.
when you set out on that journey to create change.
We like what's familiar.
Yeah, and you have to understand that it's very easy to write down your goals, right? You want a big house, you want a fancy car, you want a lovely relationship with your husband or wife, you want agreeable children, you want a lovely job, you want health and fitness. It's not hard to write these things down, and everybody needs to understand here that winners and losers can have the same goals, right? Because it's not writing down the goal that makes it a reality. It is following a process that is required, having that executional discipline to follow the process that will make it a reality. And that is where, the problem is that we have a developed identity. So if, let's say, like one of the things that I'm working on right now is losing weight, right? So if I want to lose weight, what I need to do is dieting and exercise, right? But if my existing identity prefers sitting in front of the television and watching Netflix movies, then my identity is going to prevent me from being able to follow the process, from being able to put in the hard work in the gym, and from being able to make the sacrifice in terms of healthy eating choices that are required for the dieting, for me to realize the outcome of losing weight. So this underlying psychology has to be understood, because true behavior change is the ability to change your identity.
Yeah.
And people make a mountain out of this problem, right? The reason they make a mountain out of this problem is because they don't understand the strategic value of failure, and they let that failure kill something inside them and they stop trying. The ability to change your identity to follow the process is not a beyond your reach concept. It basically has two steps. The first step is making the decision of the type of person you want to be. Right? Because if you don't take the decision to change, then the manner in which change will happen is irrelevant. And the problem here is, the reason people are not able to take that fully committed decision is because, again, in their limited brains, they have filled their head with either the regrets of the past or the anxieties of the future.
Yeah.
And if they keep their head filled with regrets of the past or anxieties of the future, where is the space left to take that fully committed decision in the present? And we do this to ourselves, right? And that is why a lot of people keep living a blind life. They know what is the right thing to do, but they are still unable to do it. So, people will give up on themselves very easily. It takes some life experience to realize that your growth only occurs on the boundary of support and challenge. So it is only when your muscles are refusing to lift that weight, when you have pushed them to failure, that they are truly growing, right? So instead of hating that last 30 seconds when you're struggling, you need to fall in love with those last 30 seconds. And fundamentally, you have to understand that humanity was created equal. There are no high performance people, there are only high performance habits. So if you can master the underlying psychology and be aligned with what you are most passionate about, what are your highest priorities, only then will you be able to, match your intentions with your actions. You'll be able to close that gap between what you aspire for and what effort you're willing to put in.
Can you elaborate a little on this identity shift that you were talking about?
Yeah, so see, when you have a weakened identity, you need help to get started. So you need to develop habits and you need to collect the evidence that you are capable of change. So if you develop a habit of meditation or of exercise or of writing down your gratitudes, and you do this for half an hour a day, 10 minutes of meditation, 10 minutes of gratitude, 10 minutes of exercise, and you do it consistently, what will happen is it will start to improve your identity, strengthen your identity. And when you get to a strengthened identity, then your identity will not let you choose habits that are not empowering, right? So it doesn't start with an empowered identity. It starts with choosing the right habits. Once you get that right, then your identity will go on, becoming stronger and stronger, and then your identity will not let you choose things that don't serve the mission and the purpose of your life.
All right, thank you. A lot of people struggle with procrastination. So, how can one leap into action and consistently sustain energy in order to accomplish their goals?
See, you have to know what is most important to you.
Yeah.
So for me, my three most important priorities in that order, the first one is serving my students, right? 80% plus of my time in my life is dedicated to this one single priority of ensuring that my students are successful in the results for their careers. My second priority is that I am an asset accumulator. Okay, I don't have a fancy life. I'm not aspiring for big homes and fancy cars. My aspiration is to be able to accumulate assets, because that directly serves my third priority, which is looking after the people who matter to me, right? So these are my top three priorities. and my actions in my life are aligned with facilitating these top three priorities. To take action on these things, I don't need motivation from the outside. Therefore, there is no procrastination, right? If these were not most important to me, then I would also need an external force to push me. And motivation is like, personal development heroin, right? Your immunity to motivation will continue to grow.
Yes.
And then you will need a bigger hit and a bigger dose and a bigger hit, for motivation to have an impact on you. That's why when people go to a self-help kind of a,
Seminars and
seminar,
conferences.
it doesn't last. It's like, if you want to be clean every day, you have to have a bath every day, right? So the way to fix motivation is to, one, get aligned with what is most important for you, your highest priorities. And there is no one right answer here. Somebody is dedicated to their health and their fitness. Somebody is dedicated to their family and their relationships. Somebody is dedicated to building a business. Somebody is dedicated to their career and their finances. So the problem here is that people, the way they communicate that they care for you and they love you is by projecting their values onto your reality. Because they feel that if you lived your life according to them, you will have a more fulfilling experience of life. This is how we show care, right? So they guide you. This is what you should do. This is what you should not do. But you have to understand, even if these people are related to you, they cannot tell you what the mission of your life is, right? It's asking a cat to behave like a fish. You cannot live in someone else's most important priorities.
Yes.
And you shouldn't do that to other people
Yes.
also. You should also not, project your values onto someone else's reality, because both of these things are futile. So to fix the problem of procrastination, you need to uncover what is most important for you, right? The first step is the toughest. If you take the first step and get guidance, because if you don't get the guidance, then you're walking on a journey that is an unknown path. You haven't done this before. I can tell you, when I started to do this, technology was not where it is today.
Yes.
I had to travel all the way to the rooms of these great masters, may it be the Jack Canfields of the world, the Tony Robbins of the world, the Byron Katie's of the world, all of these great masters, the T. Harv Ekers and, the Robert Kiyosaki's and all of these of the world, to understand what is going to be required to build a wonderful life, a successful and happy life. Because in your life, your goals must align with your definition of success. And your success must align with your definition of happiness. You don't want to climb the ladder of success only to realize that it was leaning against the wrong wall. Right? That's like an empty victory. So work with somebody who's done this before. And they will be able to accelerate your journey multifold.
All right. So, any working professional watching this at this point, I'm sure they want to know how they can get started on this journey to building a great career for themselves. So, what action can they take right now and not let any more time go to waste?
I think I partly answered that in saying that, work with a mentor, because this is not taught in the formal system of education. See, the average working professional is going to be associated with 17 different opportunities over the course of a full career, a 30 to 40 year career. And this is a necessity. Learning how to, find and secure the right job opportunity is a necessity. It's not an optional skill anymore. Because this is the one thing that drives the economic engine of your life. So it is best to learn from the experience of others. But make sure you're learning from that someone whose personal development is greater than yours. Right? Because only then will you be able to truly understand and absorb the lesson. If they are operating at a lower personal development, then they have something to learn from you. So, if their reality is better than yours, then you have something to learn. But if your reality is better than theirs, then they have something to learn. So, the idea here is you don't have to burn your own hand to find out fire is hot. You can learn from someone else's burnt hand. So all listeners here have sufficient life experience to understand what you're saying. See, you need to work with a mentor because you need to be able to put yourself in that mindset where you can manifest a great career. And I'm not just talking about being positive and spiritual concepts. I'm talking about actual progress because see, your mindset determines your results. Now, people have an existing mindset. It's how you think, it's how you perceive the information from the world around you, it's how you develop perceptions based on the information that you've absorbed and what actions you're going to take. And a mindset is based on beliefs. So you have an existing belief system. You have an existing belief with regard to what your worth in the market is. If you go out there and apply for a position, what is the salary that you can expect? You have an existing belief with regard to what is the best way to help your employer, on a particular initiative or a project. And it's not just about your belief system, it's also about the quality of your beliefs, the quality of your ideas. Because your beliefs plus your strategy is what will create your action plan, right? So it has to be easy to adopt. It cannot be a long, drawn out, impractical methodology where you have complicated it so much in the journey itself that you're never going to reach the outcome. Because if you want to change the outcome, you have to change that underlying belief system. And you need to adopt something that works, something that's highly qualified in being able to deliver results. And that is what a mentor does. They bring a framework like that to your life so that you can accelerate your journey to that outcome. But in today's day and age, I can tell you a mentor has to earn the right. I love this concept of mid-career coaches. I mean, I find it so, awkward because whoever said that I'm going to teach you how to reach the middle of the mountain. Let's find a way to get to the midway point and start celebrating. See, you can only give what you have, right? And the race is to the summit of the mountain. You need to make success you cannot achieve half the success, half that journey and consider yourself successful. It'll take walking the entirety of the journey to get the gold medal.
Yes.
So I love this concept of mid-career coaches because they are the ones who are saying, okay, I will teach you how to get to the middle of the mountain and let's celebrate, right? Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. So mentors have to earn the right in your eyes. That means they have to have self-implemented successfully.
Yes.
See, if you're working with a health instructor, you will not work with a health instructor that has said, I was 120 kilos and now I'm 100 kilos, right? You will want to work with an instructor that has a six-pack, right? If you're working with a relationship expert, you're not going to work with an expert who says that I used to have 6 fights a week with my family members and now I have only 3 fights a week, right? You will want to work with someone who has harmony in all relationships in their family, who's been able to do it. So the mentor that you work with has to earn the right in your eyes. They have to have implemented that success, and they have to have delivered that success without question to hundreds and thousands of people that they have touched and helped. Their system has to be developed at a leading edge of thought. Okay? Because we as a race are progressing in being able to find better ways to solve the problems that we experience. Like we know a lot about nutritional science today, right? And the knowledge we had 5 years ago is also relevant, right? But it's not the best way.
Yes.
What we know about the human body today is much more advanced understanding of how we process energy, how we manage weight, how we utilize the different food groups. So whatever it is that they're offering, that must be at the leading edge of thought. the ability to build great content and deliver great content are two different abilities, and that's also something that they must have. So only at the end of the day, people pay for results. So the mentor that you choose, they must have unquestionable results for you to engage. And I think that would be the way to take action. That's the action you need to take now for a great career.
All right. With that, we've come to the end of this session. You've given us a lot of wonderful and practical insights. If someone wanted to start this journey with you, what should they do?
Come attend our masterclass. You will get the free link to attend our masterclass at our website, which is sawankapoor.com, or go to our Instagram handle, which is @sawan.kapoor, and you can find the link there in our Instagram handle. Come and attend a 4-hour masterclass and understand how to look at your career with a strategic lens and how you can accelerate your journey. In 1 quarter, you could be living a very different reality.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deepa.
See you in the next episode.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Career Headquarters, the most comprehensive career podcast dedicated to building exceptional careers. If you enjoyed this conversation, please share this with someone you think would benefit from the ideas and the insights shared on this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the show on Spotify, Apple, Google, Overcast, Castro, or Breaker. If you want to learn more about building an extraordinary career for yourself, I invite you to come attend my free Power Up Your Career live workshop. In this workshop, I will teach you the step-by-step process of landing your dream job in less than 90 days. The link to register is in the description below, and I will see you live at the workshop.